Welcome to day number 5 of our new year, new you challenge. Day 5 already. So this first week went by quickly. I don't know about you, but I felt like it went by very quickly. So just a quick review. We've covered each of these topics over the past 4 days and 5 days, including today. So day 1, we talked nutrition and protein. Day 2, we talked exercise and strength training. Day 3, we talked stress and box breathing. Day 4, we talked sleep and taking a look at our sleep environment. And today, day 5, we are discussing NEAT. And NEAT stands for non-exercise activity thermogenesis. So basically, what that means is any movement, purposeful movement throughout your day outside of planned exercise. So this is your getting up, moving around, walking the dog, cleaning the house, walking in and around a grocery store, fidgeting, anything that constitutes any type of movement outside of purposeful exercise. And it is such an important topic. Those of you that have worked with me before as a client, either one-on-one or in my Way to Unweighted program, you know how much I kind of geek out on this because I find that it is an area of tremendous impact. The fact is that we as a society have become much more sedentary over time. Okay? Things have allowed us more conveniences that require much less movement. And while those things are very nice in theory, they also, again, cause us to move less, which means our body slows down. We're not burning that energy that we did in the past. You've probably heard me share before, but if you're newer to the group, maybe not. But I was a fairly good experiment of this myself. So just to give you an idea, before the pandemic, in addition to kind of coaching, and I was teaching a bunch of spin classes and things like that in the gym, was working part-time for the health department in the office. And even when we were we were fairly up and around and moving. And then, of course, we all know in March of 2020, the pandemic hit. And at that particular point in time, my job pretty quickly transitioned into full-time and then kind of a hybrid model. So I was not only working full-time, so a lot more time seated, but I was also working from home a lot as well. And of course, I wasn't teaching the classes that I was teaching. So over, let's say, the 18 months to 2 years throughout the pandemic, outside of that particular change, not much else changed for me. My nutrition is fairly consistent. I mean, it's probably not a shock to you that I eat fairly well. I'm not perfect by any means. I enjoy my indulgences, my planned indulgences, but overall I eat pretty well and I exercise fairly consistently. I run 3 to 4 times a week. I bike 1 to 2 times a week. I'm up, I'm moving, etc. Do some strength training. Okay. So the only thing that changed during that, let's say, 2-year period was that I was literally so sedentary during the day. And because of the type of work I was doing, it was very intense. It was very stressful. We were locked in to the computer. The only other change was that I was drinking a lot more wine than I was prior to the pandemic, which I'm sure a lot of you maybe can relate to. So those two things are things that changed. Again, my exercise did not change, really. My nutrition did not change. But over the course of those 2 years, my weight crept up to a point where it's probably about 15 pounds more than I was at the start of the pandemic. And I would say it wasn't super noticeable. I'm still working my way back to where I was pre-pandemic. Um, but again, I want to share that the only change was that I was very sedentary during the day. I still got my workouts in, I still eat well. So, this piece to the puzzle, this purposeful movement, especially those of you who either work from home or work a desk job where you're not moving, you're really going to have to think through this if you want to make changes with your health. We have to get ourselves moving a little bit more throughout the day. It doesn't mean that you need to do 4 workouts. I don't mean that at all. But I mean, if you're locked in to a computer, an 8-hour a day computer job, you have to find ways to get up and move around, however it is. It's kind of a non-negotiable. And I know for some of you that is going to be a huge challenge because there's a lot of barriers in place. But if you're feeling resistance to this, to what I'm saying, it's probably an area that you need to change. And I don't want you to think about it as I have to revamp my entire life. Think about where in your day can you get a little bit more movement. Maybe it's taking the stairs. Maybe it's when you go to your work, you park in the farthest parking spot. Yes, it makes a difference over the course of the day. Maybe you work on the 3rd floor and you take the stairs up instead of the elevator. Opportunities like that can make a huge difference in this area. So really would love for you to think about that moving forward. All right. So I kind of babbled on a little bit more than I planned to tonight, but I think I'm very passionate about this. I would encourage you to review the week, everything that we covered, because the specific things that we talked about can be things that are immediately available to you to begin to implement into your daily life. So I hope you got a taste of what your possibilities are. And you got a little bit of a taste of my coaching. If you are interested in diving in a little bit more, I mentioned today in my email, we start a new round of my 8-week program. This happens like 4 to 5 times a year. The spots do fill up quickly. I would love to have you reach out to me if you have questions, or if you want to just like hop on a no obligation call. We can chit chat, kind of talk about where your health is and where you might be able to make some changes. So with that, have a fantastic night, a fantastic weekend, and I will talk to you again soon. Bye, everyone.